So, what was the budget like on Jenna the Great? Did you and how
Yeah,
did
the
you
budget went up and down. Now, I've spent a lifetime putting productions together on Sodal as well. Most real indies who've come from the underdog approach. You've got to be incredibly resourceful and even break the law when you had to. It's called guerrilla filmmaking. Whatever it takes to get the job done. We're all guilty of it. We can just not go on record, but I have whatever. Screw you. I'm going to go.
Yeah, let's not go into specifics then.
We're not going to go into that. But anyway, the budget for Jenna, I had to break down what I could give, what I could get away with a $6,000 budget. And, every TV expert, the ones who give you those same job descriptions, oh, you must be this, you must be this, you must be this, you must be this, and that is what you have to do. I come from an indie background. Money has not been my friend, it's been my worst enemy. So because I'd spent a lot of my time investing in the people around me and training them and stuff and doing them favors, I could cash these in. What I said at the beginning about your network being your strongest weapon, I bloody mean it, because without having invested in the people that I knew and I cared about, teaching them when I can, sharing my time, whatever, with people, those favors would not have come in, and I would have not had the crew and cast to work Jenna the Great with. More to the point, I wouldn't have been able to build a series of productions, some bad, some okay, that I could go to an investor with and say, this is the quality of my work. That is the basis on which I was judged. And also, if you've got any film festivals or magazines, interviews and stuff like that, also helps you. So what I'm trying to say is, when you get the chance for someone to put money into your production, you should know what you should be able to get them at. You as an independent producer who's come from the guerrilla roots background will be on cloud nine, because you know how far you can take money, especially if you're a student, where you can get a few bits of equipment out for free. That's less budget that you're going to need. And also befriend people for when you leave university, for those who own their own pieces of equipment. You'd be amazed. We actually shot the entire lot of Jenna the Great on a Sony AS7 Mark II. Shows you what you can do.
I saw in the behind the scenes where Stefano noticed that Sam had the Mark III.
Yeah. And we didn't know all that time.
Overcome with jealousy almost.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Funny. So $6,000 was the budget, you say? How did you raise that?
Okay, right. Well, I had a filmmaker buddy, not necessarily a friend, but a respected acquaintance, called Steve McCartan, who's still fairly big in Dorset. He's with Nelson Nutmeg Productions now, I think, and he pulls his socks up. He rolls his sleeves up when he wants to do a film project. And I caught somewhere that he was making a short film, like a premise for a feature film called Faithless, and it starred the guy from Shameless in it. And I thought, oh, this looks like it might be quite good. I'll look forward to supporting another one of my filmmaking buddies in the future. And then this production company, this group kept on popping up. Whenever I saw this thing would be followed by this investment group. And I thought, okay, that may be where the money's coming from. You have to do your research to find these things. And if it's in Dorset, which I had a good reputation in and a good handle on, it's a bit easier to find. So I investigated. It seemed to be like a couple of investors who were looking to get themselves into media, and they really wanted to invest in youth projects. They're media enthusiasts, and they wanted to get involved in film and stuff. And I just thought, oh, okay, so right, they've invested in his film. Thing is, as I understand from that project, that's not about youth, and it's not too much about the community, but mine is. And I was living in Latin America at the time, and I thought, you know what, it can't hurt to send an email. That's the first thing you need to think about. Just go, worst I can do is say no. Now, my position of power was that I had a good handle on contacts and networks in Dorset, and Steve knew me and I knew him. I don't like talking to other filmmakers about their investment routes because it's one of those unwritten rules that I just don't think you do. But I just thought, look, I've done my own research and I've got good pre-agreements with the people who I've cast in this production. So I already had, I'm not sure if you've had a look at my composer, but he's actually the guitarist to the world famous George Benson, who had worked for me about 3 years prior. And I didn't even know how famous he was at the time. He's played for George Benson, Barbra Streisand, and Stevie Wonder as a guitarist, and he's also a composer. It's one of those things, Tom, you said earlier about everybody's becoming a teacher because they want to be more secure. It's one of the things he does. So that was my first really high profile connection, which I found off stage32.com. Everybody should be onto that network right now. It's free anyway. Go for it. And also some professional pitches on there as well to perfect your pitching technique. Anyway, so I reacquired Jamie Lee Hill to play the teacher. I had found this guy who was great with the music, Luisa Guerrero, who was big in video games, like on Destiny, Horizon, and all that sort of stuff. And I thought it's a youth project, so let's try and keep the actors, within their interests and whatever. Hattie Go to Bed, who still lives in Dorset, and she's been in Game of Thrones and Beast, and the other one, Snow White and the Huntsman. And I thought, okay, so that's enough to get an investor interested to see that through all my hard work, actors like this trust me when I've got a production. I'm saying, yeah, Dan will do it. We're not going to be. Dan isn't regarded as a student; he's regarded as a professional because he keeps them going higher with casts and stuff. So I take myself quite seriously when it comes to casting and crewing. And also, you've got to have some kind of profile with the cast and your music and stuff, because otherwise, if you're going to attract money, why are they going to give you money if you're just going to use a student? You've got to think about how seriously do you want to be taken when you walk in that room. So I got an email back after I'd sent one saying, I've got this, may you support my friend Steve, and I hope it's going well. This is something I've been putting together. It focuses on the flaws and the benefits of the education system in the UK. I think we're going to give her a social anxiety disorder with ADHD and represent my struggle through education. And she comes from Derby. She's gone to Bournemouth with a struggling single mum. These are the cast and crew I've already got attached. This is what I want to do. And I would like to flesh this out into a TV series that would be anthological, like Charlie Brooker's Black Mirror, but based around comedy education, with a hint of the surrealist VFX that I can add. And I've also got a VFX artist who's now working at Netflix. So you almost put them in a position where they go, if we say no, we're going to look like a right pair of dicks. So you've really got to impress the shit out of them. So if you get yourself into a position like that, and you've got a good show reel, you've got people like this who will stand there and saying, yeah, Dan's a good guy. Thinking, how do you know Bhaskar Patel from Emmerdale, who's also been in, that Snowden movie, which is really good. And you've already attached the dream team, and they want to be part of it, because although they're not thinking about the product, they're certainly thinking about the people. They would go, ew, we've had a drink with so-and-so today. More. so they're thinking about their profile, especially as new investors, at the same time as knowing that it's going to be a safe horse to bet on. You've got to think about their money. And this is not disrespectful, but it wasn't a lot of money, because this kind of production, you're going to price at something like 10, 20,000 easily, probably more, 30,000 with the VFX and stuff involved. I've pulled off this production for less than what was budgeted because of the people who owe me favors, the equipment I can get from friends. And I had two really great assistant producers like Nicola, who came back to work for me, a new guy that I trained called John Pajoli, who's also a novelist in the area, who got me his house to shoot in and a rooftop to shoot on as well. I couldn't have completed the film without that. And also, I wanted to give students something that they don't ever get, a first-hand practical filmmaking experience. So I went. John knew the area more than I did, and we were shooting around his house anyway. He says, "I can have some schools for you down." Thinking, "Oh, great Christ! I thought I was going to have to do that myself." You never know. If you get the good eggs on board who really want it, they will make the effort. And he was bloody good. And together we got Litchett Minster School, who, when I got there, I was like, I wasn't expecting something shabby. This is bloody amazing. I'm going to get to shoot here if these guys sign off on it. And I had to sell what I was giving them because there wasn't going to be any money involved. Shit, that's already been taken up by my cast and crew. I respect my cast and crew before I do strangers. So your students will get this. They'll get a chance to meet. Does any of your kids watch Emmerdale or you? Go, oh, yeah, some of them do actually. Okay, Basker's going to be here. Oh, you're kidding. Hattie from Game of Thrones is going to be here. Oh, you're kidding. And they say, oh, we can't really refuse this because it gives students something to be a part of. And if the series takes off the way I want it to, I will say that every episode will feature a different school. They can have their selfies taken with the guest star for that episode or whatever, such as with Basker or Hattie. And the students, as it should be, will sell the concept itself. What other TV series allows students like that to be a part of something and let it grow? You're going to have schools bidding to be in the next episode. So they're going, oh, can we be the first? Already, they've sold themselves to me before I've even asked. So I got their classroom, I got their library, and I got very generous shooting hours. And they were actually sending letters out to the parents and stuff. Do you want to be involved in this film? It's on a Saturday, and I got about 30 to 40 students out of bed on a Saturday morning coming down to their own school just so they could have a selfie with these people. There you go. Like I said before, and I'm going to bang on, networking, communication. Don't be a dick. Be full of initiative. You would surprise yourself. There are good people out there who want to help you. You just got to really look hard.
That's a really nice insight actually into the sort of producing process there, and it's interesting to hear you talk about how you're always looking to put yourselves in their shoes. What do they want out of this? How can you maximise that for them?
You have to.
Bearing in mind, there's not going to be much money, if any, exchanging hands for this stuff.
You have to be honest about that part too. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.